Hello everybody. What I have here is a 40-gallon fish tank. I've had it set up for about 6 months, and what I'm starting to run into is a little bit of algae growth. So I've been testing my tank parameters pretty religiously. My phosphates are pretty elevated. All my other tank parameters look amazing, so that all looks great. But I did buy some ChemiPure Elite, throw it in my canister to kind of get a little bit of hold on the phosphates. I do overfeed my fish, yes, I'll admit, but I enjoy feeding them. I enjoy watching them, so that's part of the price here. But this is not a big deal. As long as your filtration and everything is set up, you can overfeed your fish. It really just affects your tank parameters mainly, but everything is great. My nitrates are good. Again, phosphates are high, and I do believe that's what's contributing to this. So it's really just centered, though, on this plant right in the middle. And so what I want to show you guys is, as I started researching ways to start combating algae, because I definitely don't want this to turn into a major problem and get on my glass, or especially this black background. I was also getting some up here right on the top of this lock line, my little HVAC system here. But that's easy to clean off. You know, it's hard to see because it's way at the top of the tank with the way this tank's positioned. So I would get a tiny bit on this plant over here. You can see a little bit of orange right there. But then again, you look at those leaves and they're really well lit by the light. So is the top of the lock line, and so are the broad leaves of these plants. I don't really see any on my rocks. Some of my other trees, the driftwood, it hasn't, the glass for sure. But anyway, so I decided to figure out, I was looking online to see what snails might work best, and nothing really shows you who's effective at what. They all have their opinions on rabbit snails versus mystery snails versus these zebra nerite snails. Well, I made this video because I want to show you guys just how effective these guys are. This snail jumped onto this plant. All the leaves were pretty much looking like this one here in the center, kind of orange veins running through it, which I didn't think was too big of a deal. It makes the plant look much more real, and again, it's nowhere on my glass or even that black background right next to it. But I didn't want to have it get that bad, so I got two of these. They're cheap. I got these from Petco. They're simple. You just throw them in, and boy, tell you what, you can see right here. This is a testimony on just how that leaf used to look and how it's starting to look as this snail cleans it up. So they do a wonderful job. There's another guy hiding down here. He's on the bottom of the leaf. Can barely see him. But they do an amazing job, as you can see right here, in cleaning up algae. So one thing about these zebra nerite snails, though, is they do leave these little white dots. What these are, I'm told, those are eggs. Now, these snails don't reproduce. These eggs don't hatch. They won't take over your tank off what I'm told, so who knows? We'll see over time. But everything I read and saw doesn't show these as all of a sudden you got, an abundance of snails in your tank. It's really just specific to the driftwood. That's it. And there's a couple more little dots down there. It comes off easy. I take the driftwood out with my water change, scrub them down. Everything's fine. It's not on, they don't leave them on the plants. I don't see any on any plants anywhere. None on this black background, which I was really worried about if there was going to be white dots up there, because I have seen them climb on the wall back there. And none on my glass. So none in this plant right here. So that's about the only drawback, but that's not too big of a deal. And again, that comes off pretty easy. And if I didn't have the driftwood in the tank, I don't even know where these eggs would end up being, but boy, they just really just put them right onto this driftwood. I think there's a couple more little guys over here. Yeah, you can see a couple little white dots right there. So these snails are a wonderful addition if you're looking to combat algae. If you have a plant that looks like this, or glass, or ornaments, put these guys in, and this is what'll happen right here. So very effective at cleaning off algae. And I just wanted to make this video to show people kind of a real life on what they can expect these snails to do. I might need more than two maybe, but I'm not sure. If these two snails can keep this center plant looking good, that's really the only place I'm getting a lot of growth. I don't think they'll be able to get up to these high leaves. That's a very fine, light plant. And I don't know if they'll get on top of the lock line here. But again, no big deal. I can scrub that stuff off when I do my water changes and everything's good. I do hope the ChemiPure Elite brings down my phosphate some. That might control a bit also, and kind of nip this in the bud before it becomes a real problem in this tank. But everything else is looking wonderful right now. Super happy. So this is kind of a testimonial to these snails. I hope this helps you. If you're running the same problem I am, just do get 2 of these guys, or 4 or 6, however many you need. Maybe you have a larger tank, and they look like they're doing a wonderful job. So thank you for watching. Happy holidays and happy tanking.